Welcome students. In this video we're going to look at 10 homophones, that is words that sound the same but mean different things. For example, which and which. My name is Callum and welcome to Hedgehog English. Let's start with which and which. Which is used to refer to one or more of a group of people or things. For example, which teacher do you like best? And which is a magical woman who can cast spells and curses. For example, in the past, witches were thrown into ponds to see if they could float. Then we have one and won. Won is the past simple tense of win. For example, hooray! She won the swimming competition. And one or one, but pronounced one, is the number one. So for example, I have one nose, thankfully. Then let's look at would and would. Would is a polite way to express desire. So for example, I would really like a ham sandwich. Or it can be a conditional. For example, if I were you, I would seek advice from someone else. But wood is the material we use to make furniture. For example, this table was made from some fine wood. Then we'll go to your and your. Well, your is to express belonging, usually to the person that the speaker is addressing. So for example, is that your hat? And your is the contraction of you are, your. So for example, you're awesome. Then we'll go to allowed and allowed. Allowed means permitted. You are permitted or given permission to do something. So for example, you are not allowed to take scissors on a plane. And allowed is when something is spoken aloud as opposed to silently. It's not done silently, it's done aloud. So for example, I'm sorry, I was just thinking aloud. Then we'll talk about pail and pail. Well, pail is a bucket, typically with a handle that you might use to carry things. For example, take the pail and fill it at the well. And pale is expressing colour, so not so dim or dull, not a lot of colour. For example, you're looking very pale today. Are you sure you're feeling well? Now let's discuss profit and profit. Profit is the financial gain obtained from a business or an investment. So for example, let's celebrate, the company made record profit this month. And prophet is someone who is regarded as a teacher or a messenger or a proclaimer of the word of God. For example, Noah was a prophet who warned the people that God would bring a flood. Now let's look at principal and principal. So a principal is the person who holds the highest position in a school or institution. For example, the principal announced that if we didn't abide by the rules, we would be taken or brought to his office. And principle is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of belief or behaviour. For example, it's a matter of principle to always tell the truth. Let's look at Vane, Vane and Vane. So vain is having or showing an excessively high opinion of your own worth or abilities. For example, he was so vain, he would change his clothes 3 times a day. But vane is a blade attached to a rotating axis which is pushed by wind. For example, she saw the weather vane spinning madly in the powerful breeze. And vein is one of the tubes in your blood circulation system carrying the oxygen depleted blood towards the heart. For example, the doctor gave the patient an injection into one of his veins. Then we have weather and weather. Well, weather is the atmospheric conditions such as temperature, precipitation and wind. For example, I never listen to the weather forecast because it is usually wrong. And whether is something expressing a choice or doubt between alternatives. For example, I don't know whether to go to the museum or the theatre. If you've enjoyed this lesson about English homophones, then I highly recommend this video here to further your education. Otherwise, please check out another video which YouTube has personally recommended to you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.